So, following Jake Paul getting his face smashed by Anthony Joshua, a lot of people are thinking, well, does Jake Paul retire from here? What's next for Jake Paul? And could he retire? Of course. You know, this was a huge payday, so this is the type of payday you can retire off. But I have a feeling Jake Paul doesn't really want to retire. I think he's seen this as, you know, this was a knockout. It wasn't... He's probably thinking, okay, the pain is mad. But in terms of the backlash he got online, it really wasn't that bad. You know, if Tyron Woodley had knocked him out, if Ben Askren had knocked him out, if Nate Diaz had knocked him out, then at that point, the media backlash would have been crazy because, yeah, you're getting knocked out by an old, bad MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is shame in that. But getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua, there's no shame in that. So, Jake Paul's probably thinking, well, he could probably do it again. And he wouldn't fight heavyweight. He wouldn't fight anyone nearly as powerful as Anthony Joshua again. And the person who I think Jake Paul should fight next is a rematch with Tommy Fury. It's a rematch with Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury's not that good. Jake Paul's not that good. And even though Tommy Fury beat them the last time, you know, in the first fight, it was close. It was competitive, in my opinion. And Jake Paul's gotten a lot better since then. So, in my opinion, that's almost got all the makings of a good rematch. And ultimately a rematch that probably has a different result too. Because in a rematch, I actually do see Jake Paul winning. Because like I said previously, I think Jake Paul's improved a lot more from when they last fought. I don't think Tommy Fury's improved at all. And we've seen him fight like Romanian journeyman, whatever. Like he's not fought anyone. At least Jake Paul's fighting. I mean, I can't say at least he's fighting Mike Tyson. Because Mike Tyson's probably at the level of like a European journeyman at this point, if that, actually. So maybe Jake Paul's not like... No, he fought Cesar Chavez. He fought Chavez Jr., to be fair. And Chavez Jr., again, is a million miles better than anyone Tommy Fury's ever boxed. And Jake Paul handled him pretty well. And I mean, but then that was a weird fight. You watch that fight and you see Chavez Jr. basically do nothing for all of the fight and then start to box in the last round. It does smell a bit fishy, I'll be honest. That sort of fight does smell a bit fishy. The Anderson Silva fight, I remember at the time, I think it's quieted down a lot now, but around the time there was a lot of people sort of looking into that knockdown of Anderson Silva. Now, that's neither here nor there, but again, it's controversy around his results. And then you see him fight two real boxers, quote-unquote real boxer for Tommy Fury, but you see him fight two real boxers and he loses to both of them. These are things to consider, in my opinion. These are things that a lot of people, when they talk about Jake Paul, they forget about these things. Now, again, Jake Paul actually looked quite good against Chavez Jr. He boxed quite well, but we never really saw Chavez Jr. actually put up that much resistance until the last round. So, again, weird. Very weird. But again, like I said, Jake Paul has improved a lot more compared to Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's not improved at all. Probably got worse because he's not even been active. At least if he was active and staying at the same level, at least you could say, okay, well, there's no ring rust. He's still sharp and ready to be in the ring. He's not been doing that. He's been inactive and he's not fought a high level of opponent. And, you know, he's not looking amazing. Again, even if he goes out there and knocks out a journeyman in the first round, we don't learn anything about Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's not proved anything to us. If anything, it's just more of an indictment on the journeyman he's facing. Like, damn, you couldn't even last a round against Tommy Fury, for example. So yeah, I think that fight does make a lot of sense. And on paper, there's a lot of reasons why this fight would be exciting. Now, Tommy Fury's probably thinking... If Tommy Fury fights Jake Paul, he's like, this is probably my last big payday in boxing. So I may as well go at it and swing for the fences. And then you've got Jake Paul who's thinking, okay, well, I'm a lot better now. I'm a lot more experienced. But also, me being too patient in the first fight cost me. You know, if Jake Paul threw more punches, he could have won that fight. It was a winnable fight for Jake Paul. And I hope he remembers that. If that fight gets made, I hope he remembers that going into this fight. That he could have won this fight if he just maybe went into that next gear. That I think he's now found with the experience that he's got. He's now found that next gear. I mean, after getting knocked out the way he got knocked out, he probably will be gun shy now. He probably will be gun shy because it's very hard not to be. That's the reality of it. It's very hard not to, when you get a knockout like that, you have to be kind of fucked in the head to not be gun shy after that. Your body's natural reaction is like, damn, last time we did this, last time we boxed, we got our jaw broken in two places. Let's be very wary here. Let's be mindful. Let's try and avoid the punches in. And that's actually not a bad way to box. Trying to avoid punches is the name of the game, and that probably should be how you box, but you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. But yeah, man, it's interesting. I think that fight should get made. I think Jake Paul should fight Tommy Fury next, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think of this fight. If this fight does get made, who do you think wins? Let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.